in marriage or relationships, unresolved conflict in marriage and relationship. Now, this is a very important thing I would like to address, and please share the live session, share the live stream, and I want to welcome every one of you. I will go straight to the topic today. I'm not gonna. This is a live stream. I'm hosting this live stream from TikTok. So for those of you watching us on Facebook, YouTube, you're watching us from Instagram. Thank you for joining us. Your comments are welcome. Your questions are also welcome. So I encourage you to send in questions to the various messaging platform that we have. Thank you for liking the stream. Thank you for sharing and liking and commenting. I appreciate that. Unresolved conflicts in marriage. I'll first of all look at that and we'll talk about the danger of it. I'm talking about the argument that really never ends, or the argument that never really ends. The argument that never really ends. The argument that never really ends. Now, you are not going through a lot in your marriage because you argue too much. Because many marriages are not breaking down because the couple argue too much. So it's not about arguing too much. But many marriages are breaking down because the couples are not getting the argument resolved. They don't resolve the arguments. That's why many marriages are breaking down. You talk about the conflict. You talk about it. You argue about it. And then someone gets angry. Someone become defensive. Someone walk away. And maybe you will not speak to each other for 2 days. You may not even speak to each other for 2 days or more than that. Then eventually, one of you says, let's just forget about it. Let's just move on. Then you start talking again. See, you start talking again. You start laughing again. You sleep in the same bed again. Life continues. And everybody assumes that the problem has passed. The problem is resolved. But it hasn't. What you have done is that you have simply put the argument on the ground. It's like digging a hole and burying it. And this is where I want to challenge many married people. I want to challenge you if you're married. The absence of an argument does not mean the presence of peace. Write that down. Write that down. The absence of an argument does not mean the presence of peace. If I were you, I would take a note quickly because I'm going to give you some things in this live session today. You're going to hear some things that will change your home. The absence of an argument does not mean the presence of peace. Sometimes what you call peace is actually emotional avoidance. Emotional avoidance. Sometimes what you call forgiveness is actually emotional exhaustion. Sometimes what you call, let's move on. We are moving on. What you call that It's sometimes two people who have realized that talking about their pain get them nowhere. We get nowhere. So let's move on. And when this happen repeatedly, mark my words, when this happen repeatedly, the marriage can become emotionally dangerous. Not necessarily because uh, your husband or your wife is shouting during the argument. No, it is because unresolved pain is quietly accumulating. Unresolved pain is quietly accumulating. Guys, share the live stream. If you're not following us, hit the follow button and also like. Let's create an awareness. This is very important. So today, I want to help you understand what unresolved conflict actually looks like, because many don't understand it. They know they have experienced unresolved issues, but they don't know what it actually look like. So I'll show you what it looks like and why the same problem keep coming back. So this is a live session that is designed for kind of a diagnosis. This is a diagnostic live session. Okay. So I want to show you what unresolved, or make you understand what unresolved conflict looks like in relationship or marriage, and why the same problem keep coming back, and why you may need more than another conversation. You need more than another discussion with your partner. You may need more than that. So I want you to put this question in mind. Instead of you asking, what are we arguing about? Or someone asking you, what are you guys arguing about? The right question should be, or the deeper question, not deepest here, the deeper question should be, what is happening underneath your argument or our argument that neither of us understand? There are things that are happening under every form of argument that neither the people involved in the argument understands. That's what I want to expose on this live stream. The first thing is, what is unresolved conflict? What is it? What is unresolved conflict? Unresolved conflict, every marriage, first of all, let me establish this fact. It has nothing to do with disagreement. Unresolved conflict is not disagreement. Every healthy marriage will always have disagreement. Remember this. I didn't say every marriage. I said every healthy marriage. So whether you are married and your marriage is unhealthy or healthy, it is just involved. So what I'm saying is, even healthy marriages, we have disagreements. So disagreement is not the problem. Neither will you say disagreement or interpret disagreement as unresolved conflict. So what is unresolved conflict? It is two people can love each other and then they have conflict. This conflict becomes unresolved. And when the event finishes, the emotional injury as a result of the conflict remains. You understand now? Let me explain this. This is very important. First of all, imagine two people who love each other. They love each other so deeply, and they disagree about money. They disagree about children. They disagree about intimacy. They disagree about family. They disagree about responsibility. They disagree about communication. They disagree about expectations, and they disagree about priorities. All right, it's possible. Don't think it's not. It's possible. You can love each other so deeply and still have disagreement about all of these things. It is possible. Conflict becomes unresolved when the event finish, the disagreement finish, but the emotional issue remains. You see, the conversation stops, but understanding never happens. You see, we finish talking, but we never understood each other. The argument has ended. The argument ends, but accountability never happens. They apologized, but their behavior never changed. Are you getting it now? You forgive, but emotional safety is never restored. You continue the marriage, but something inside you still ask questions. Is asking, why did you do that to me? Why did you do it? You are still inside you are still asking. The conversation has ended though. You still continue the marriage, oh. You are still in the relationship, but your mind keep asking, why did he do it? Why did you do that to me? Why didn't you understand what you did to me? How come you don't understand the impact of what you have done? Why is this always happening? Why does this keep happening? Your mind keep ruminating around that. And eventually, that yesterday's unresolved conflict becomes today's emotional trigger. That yesterday's unresolved conflict. Remember, I said you stopped talking. You ended the conversation. The argument ended. The apologies came. But guess what? Even when the conversation stopped, you did not understand each other. No understanding took place. When the argument ended, no accountability was taken. When the apology came, behavior never changed. They apologized, but they did not change their behavior. They forgive, but you don't feel emotionally safe. Emotional safety is not restored. But you continue the marriage, you continue the relationship, you continue talking, you continue laughing. But something inside you still tell you that I'm not sure why they did it. Why did they do this to me? Why can't they just understand me? Why do we have to keep talking about one thing over and over again? Why does this keep happening? This is why I said, when this continue, that's why I use the word eventually. When this pattern continue, it will make yesterday's unresolved conflict to become today's emotional trigger. What is triggering you? What triggers you today? Okay, is as a result of unresolved conflict of yesterday. And this is why small things that your partner will say or do will attract a very big or large reaction. It will attract something, emotional intensity. And they ask, why are you making such a big deal out of this? How many of you, your partner, have asked you that? And say, why are you making such a big deal out of this? Why? Why are you making such a big deal? How many of you have you've been told that? Have you been told? We have been told that. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? Exactly. Or you have told somebody, why are you making such a big deal out of this? Why? This is the reason. They are making big deals out of this small thing because this small thing has triggered emotionally yesterday's, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, emotional unresolved issues. It has accumulated. And they will say, why are you so difficult to deal with? But you are not reacting only to what happened today. That's the problem. The person is reacting to 5 years of similar experiences, to 10 years of similar experiences, to 15 years of similar experiences, to 20 years of similar experiences, to 35 years of similar experiences. Are you getting it now? So this experience has been there for years and it's similar. So they are reacting from there. Every year it gets worse. Every year it gets worse. You just find out that they just get to they just get disoriented more and more every year. The couple just get disoriented more and more every year. It's getting worse. No year is ever better. It's always ending up with one more issues to another because there is accumulated unresolved conflict that has been left undone. And that begin to trigger every little thing, triggers them. And this is why couples sometimes argue about dishes, about lateness, they argue about phones, they argue about money, they argue about housework. I'm telling you, they argue about all of these things. When the real argument is about something completely different, though, but they will argue about dishes. Now, that argument about dishes may represent that they don't support, that means they don't feel supported by their partner. But they will argue over the dishes instead of talking about it's because I don't feel supported. That's why I'm angry. They don't say that. They will argue, you don't wash the dishes, you don't do this. So they argue over the thing that is not supposed to be argued about. The argument of the phone is not the problem. The phone is not the problem. The argument is focusing on the phone. But the real issue is that the person does not feel important to you. When you are on your phone all the time, the person feels less important. So now they complain about the phone, not because the phone is the problem. They are complaining about the phone because your partner who is complaining about the phone does not feel important to you. That means if I'm important to you, you will spend all your day and time, many of the times you have to be on the phone instead of spending that time with them. You see? So the argument on money is not about the money. The argument that is coming from money is that one of you do not trust the other person's judgment about money anymore. That's where the problem is. So every time someone complains about a particular thing, it is not that actual thing that is the issue. When there is an argument concerning lateness, for instance, that lateness is not the problem. The problem is that the person who is complaining about your lateness do not feel considered. That means the reason why you are late is that there is something else you prioritized than them. So they don't feel considered. You see, when couples complain about intimacy in their marriage, the problem is not the intimacy. The problem is one of the partner do not feel emotionally safe enough to be vulnerable with you. That's why they withdraw intimacy. They don't feel emotionally safe enough. So instead of arguing and quarreling and dragging each other about intimacy, you are forgetting what is actually the problem. What has accumulated is lack of emotional safety. So the real conflict is often underneath the visible conflict. Did you get that? The real conflict is underneath the visible conflict. What is the visible conflict? The one that everyone is talking about. Oh, your phone, you're always on your phone, you don't have money, and all the stuff. We don't have intimacy, you don't touch me, you're always this, you're always that, you are not unavailable, blah, blah, blah. You don't wash the dishes, you don't clean the house, or whatever the argument is. That's the visible one. But the real problem, the real conflict is underneath. And until there is proper diagnosis, many of you will not know. What I've done now is called diagnosis. That's what I've done. But many couples don't know what they argue about. They don't know the real problem that is engineering the arguments. Or they don't know the real problem behind the conflict. They think that they are dealing with the conflict, which is visible. But that visible one is not actually the conflict, the issue. The real conflict is underneath the visible one. And until you diagnose what is underneath the real visible conflict, until you diagnose what is underneath the visible conflict that is loud, you can spend years fighting the symptoms. You just keep repeating patterns. One thing keep being repeated again. One argument keep being repeated again. Why? How do you know that you have unresolved conflict piling up in your marriage? You keep having, that's point number one, you keep having different versions of the same argument. If in your marriage or relationship, you keep having different versions of the same argument but different version. One of the clearest signs of unresolved conflict is repetition. Write it down. One of the clearest signs of unresolved conflict is repetition. Did you get that? Repetition. It's repetition or repetition. Repetition, do you understand? When someone is being repeated, repetition. That's the clearest sign that you can tell that you are having unresolved conflict accumulated. That's when you know. Different day, different situation, but the same emotional arguments. Maybe you constantly argue about money. I don't know. Maybe. I'm just saying. Maybe you constantly argue about money. But underneath the money argument is the trust issue. Trust issue. Trust issue. So you have not dealt with the real thing. The real problem is trust. That's why you argue about money. You may not know. But until your story is listened to, until we have to hear your story and understand why you are having money argument, you may never know whether it's trust issue or not. Maybe you are arguing about money because of children. Or probably you are arguing about children and you don't know why you constantly argue about children. You're arguing about the children. But underneath it, that parental struggle that you're having is probably that you are struggling with over-respect. You are struggling with partnership. That means you are not being supported. But you constantly argue about the children. So the children sometimes will feel as though they are the problem. You see? Maybe you constantly argue about your spouse, family, your in-laws. You argue about your in-laws. Say, my in-laws are this, my in-laws are that. But what you may not understand is the conflict that is underneath it, the real conflict. Maybe you do not protect your marriage enough. So you have to ask yourself the question, do you protect your marriage when other people interfere? Are there boundaries in place? As long as there is no boundary, you will keep arguing and complaining and arguing and complaining. It will get worse and worse and worse. Many of you don't know that you're supposed to protect your marriage from other people's interferences. You don't know. You protect your marriage from family interferences. It is your responsibility. But it will be very difficult to protect what is not worth protecting, what is not protected. You understand? If something is not worth protecting, you won't protect it. For instance, if you don't feel that your marriage is worth protecting, you will never protect it. Because somebody say how? It's very simple. Let's say you are having arguments and fight with your husband all the time or with your wife all the time. The first thing that you will do is to drag your family into it. That's the first thing you will do. Because at that moment, it's not about protecting the marriage anymore. It's about revealing the marriage problem. So as many people that you can reveal the marriage problem to who will listen, that's what you would do. Hoping that whatever they have to say or do will not solve your problem. So you have opened the door to interferences. And guess what? The people you are reporting to question what is their experiences in this situation. You see it? They are not even they are not even qualified to even advise you or tell you what to do. But you tell them anyway. Why? Because there's fire in the house. The home is on fire. It's not worth it to protect, so you want to reveal what the problem is. So now you are looking for protection from outside instead of setting the protection guard from inside. You're supposed to protect from inside out, not outside in. Maybe you argue because your spouse comes home all the time. They comes home late. I used to have that neighbor where I grew up. The husband will always come home late. You can tell the man is coming home late. Why? Because everybody knows in the community that he comes home late. When he's coming, everybody knows. You wake up if you're sleeping. Some people did not have to sleep until he comes because they don't want to be disturbed. 2 a.m. in the morning, that's when he's coming home. It's not night shift. It doesn't do night shift. By 8 o'clock in the morning, he's gone to work. And he come home 2 a.m. in the morning. And that time, most of the time, come home drunk. shouting everywhere down, screaming the whole place streets, shouting on the kids and not doing everything, and does that almost every night. There is no night except the day he is not too well. So imagine that kind of experience and constant argument about it. What is making that person do it may not be the late nights. What you are thinking about when you argue with them is that they don't think to matter. They don't think to, you see, it's like you're thinking you don't matter enough for them to consider your feelings in their decisions. So they make their decisions in a selfish way. So they don't even consider you and how you feel. That's exactly why you are complaining. Because it is their behavior that is affecting you. And the decisions to take, to act on that is what you are really after. Because they did not consider you. They didn't see you that you matter to them when they were making those decisions. That's a painful part. That's the painful part. And that is why simply solving the surface issue does not stop the conflict. You can create a budget and still have trust problems when it comes to money. You can agree on parenting and have rules that you write on parenting and still feel disrespected by one or two of your partner, by one or another partner, by you or the other partner. You can still have that. You can put the phone down and still feel emotionally disconnected. It's not about the phone. That's why a lot of people can't put the phone down. They can't. They have been on it when they were at work. They come back home, they stay on it. They were in the transit, they stay on it. They were communing, they stay on it. Now they get home, they stay on it. They are eating, they stay on it. Now they want to go and take their shower, they put it beside the window. Immediately they finish having their bath or shower, they clean up. The next thing is to get a hold of it again. And then they come back and they put it on beside their bed. As they are dressing up, they are looking at it with one eye. They are dressing up, they are looking at it with one eye. Every beep, they stop dressing, they take it up. Every beep, they stop dressing or rubbing cream, they take it up. Now, it's obstructing the whole thing. And imagine you are just watching this behavior. Then by the time they finish dressing and drawing up, they take it again. Now it's time to sit down. And then they take it again. Now they sit down somewhere and now they go. It's not so let me, it's like, you know, that mentality. And now I have the time to press. So every other people around you doesn't matter. Everyone else doesn't matter. Even when your partner is talking to you and you're yes. No focus, no attention, no eye contact, no commitment. That's why you have addressed the event. There is still emotional disconnection. Your partner does not feel emotionally connected. Why? Because you are connected to your phone. You are so emotionally connected to your phone that you have disconnected from your partner. It will lead to argument. But even in arguing, all you are doing is to address the event. You have not addressed the emotional meaning that is attached to the event. What is the emotional meaning for this particular event? Emotional disconnection. The partner feels emotionally disconnected. And as long as he or she feels emotionally disconnected, while you are connected to your phone, while you are just connected to your mobile iPhone 14, and you are just scrolling and laughing and enjoying yourself. You see, that's emotional connection. You are romanticizing your phone, and your partner is just seriously wondering, what have I got myself into? And this is where couple become exhausted, because you start thinking, really? I thought we have discussed these things 100 times. We have discussed this thing many times. Yes, you have discussed these things 100 times. Some of you will say even 1001 times. You have discussed this, but that's it. That's the thing. That's the problem. So if you have discussed this particular thing many times and nothing changed, do you think you need another conversation? If you have, I'm just thinking, let's say you have discussed this thing 100 times. Do you think, nothing have changed? Nothing have changed. My question is, do you think you need another 101 time to make the point clear, to get the person change? But that's what we do. That's how it got to 100 times. We started from 1, we discussed it, and then nothing changed. Then we roll it over to 2, nothing changed. We roll it over until it was 20 times, nothing changed. We are still waiting for something to change. Then we roll it over again until what? It's 50 now. 50 times you have discussed this matter. You have argued about this particular thing 50 times. Nothing changed. Why? Because it's unresolved. Now, the more you talk about it, the more emotionally intense it becomes. Thank you so much, Kosh. Do you understand what I'm saying? The more emotionally intense it becomes. Some of you don't know when to stop because you don't know how to stop. You don't have the capacity to stop until the whole thing have destroyed the marriage. That's when you think you should stop. So what you need is to understand why the conversation are failing. Why is it not working? Why is the argument failing? Why are they still unresolved? That's the key. That's the understanding you need. And it takes diagnosis, emotional diagnosis, to know that. It takes that. So stop guessing if this is happening to you. What you need is emotional diagnosis. That's what you book. You book a session for that. And then we have a one-on-one section where we identify what is underneath the argument. What is underneath the argument? There is something underneath it that you don't know. And it varies. It is extremely dynamic to individual relationships. I can't tell you exactly that on this live stream. I say, okay, this is why you are having your conflict unresolved. No. I can only give you several events of diagnosis. Maybe your story might align with one of them, but until you go through a proper emotional diagnosis sessions and where your story and your experiences are discussed, then you now understand what is behind it. Here's the second point. You have stopped talking because talking does not feel safe anymore. That is when you know that you are in a marriage of unresolved conflicts. That's when you know. You have stopped talking. Not because you have solved the problem. No, you stopped talking because talking did not do any good. And you are no longer feeling safe talking about it, arguing. So you stopped. And this one is the most dangerous sign of unresolved conflicts that is accumulating. Because from the outside, the marriage may look calmer. Thank you, nurse. From the outside, the marriage may look calmer. You don't argue as much outside. Now, you don't even argue as much inside. But why? Did you actually become healthier? I'm just thinking. Emotionally, did you actually become healthier? Or did somebody simply give up? See, there is a difference between we don't fight anymore because we learn how to communicate, and we don't fight anymore because I stopped telling my partner how I feel. There's a big difference. One is that the last one you have given up. The first one is because you seek advice. You got a skill. You learned something to do when you fight, what to do. You have learned what we call conflict resolution skill. Did you get that now? So some spouses eventually become quiet because every difficult conversation produces defensiveness. Even there are people in relationship right now, as I'm talking, they are not married yet, but they are dating. This is the problem. Repeated arguments. And one of them is fed up. Now, guess what? They are not quiet. Why? Because the other person is extremely defensive. Extremely defensive. And guess what? They still hope to marry. If you marry into this situation, if you marry into it, you have done yourself a disservice. It's called self-sabotage. You have destroyed your own self. I'm telling you. If you do. It will get worse. So, stop saying that they hurt you. Because the more you say, the more they do it. Because it's like them, you are giving them the secret. It's okay, just hurt me more, hurt me more, hurt me more. And by the time you complain about them hurting you, they will tell you that you are too sensitive. You are too emotional. You are too sensitive. When you don't feel supported, you tell them that you don't feel supported. They say, oh, nothing they do is ever good enough for you. Nothing I do is ever good enough. What is it? What do you want from me? What do you really want? Should I? They complain and arguments start all over. I just want your support anyway. I just want your support. Oh, am I not supporting? And then the argument go on and on and on. Again, it's been happening for years. It's exhausting. Some of you, your partner will come to you and say, can we talk about what just happened? And suddenly, the conversation become about, is that why you're talking to me like that? Is it because you want to talk to, you want us to talk about it? Is that how you should approach me? Do you know I'm busy right now? Is it the right time? Is it the right time? Is it the right time for you to come out? Is it the time? Or they will address your attitude, or they will address your mistake. You should have said it this way. Why didn't you say it this way? But that's not. I want us to talk about what happened. Can we just talk about what happened? Is that why you're frowning your face? Is that why you're frowning your face? So you want to talk about? Is that why you're looking at me like that? What did I do? I'm just. No. That's disrespectful. Very, very disrespectful. So they leave the real problem and now they start handling and tackling something else, and the conflict just keep increasing. And then you finally say, okay, leave it. It's okay, I won't talk about it anymore. It's okay, let's forget it. And then you forget it, and you say, okay, forget it. Let's forget it. I told you before, I don't want to talk about anything. Leave it. And then after about 2-3 days, no talking to each other, then later you start talking. Okay, I'm sorry for that conversation. I'm sorry for what happened the other time. Sorry for what? No, the way I was talking to, yeah, let's forget it. Yeah, what do you want? I'll buy you anything. Okay. Do you want to eat? I will cook something for you. What do you want? What do you? So now it's okay. I want to eat this, and then you cook it, or they buy you gift, or do something else, as though the problem has been solved. It hasn't. What you have done is to leave it unresolved. The injury, the emotional damage that happened during that event still remains unhealed. So now you are laughing again, you are talking again, you are smiling again, you are watching TV again, and then another problem happens. Similar thing happen. Oh, is it not what I'm talking about? Then you go over and over again, and the cycle just continues without stopping. Who is not learning? Is it the conflict, or the people who are engaged in the conflict? The people who are engaged in the conflict are not learning. And now you become silent. Let me tell you something. Silent is not always healing. Sometimes silent is emotional resignation. I keep telling you that. Silent, most of the time, is emotional resignation. This is when a husband or the wife begin processing the marriage alone. They start processing the marriage alone. They cry alone. They think alone. They make emotional decisions alone. And gradually, they stop expecting their spouse to understand them. That is the problem. That is when emotional loneliness begins to grow inside a marriage as a result of unresolved conflict that has been left unresolved, accumulated. Are you getting it now? So what that means is that you have stopped talking. This is why many people say, I have stopped talking. No, because if I talk, it's a problem. If I don't talk, I don't know, it's a problem. So I just choose not to talk. Sometimes if I talk, it's like though I don't understand. So if I talk, I don't know. If I talk, I know I'm no longer safe to talk. Oh, if I talk, so I've stopped talking. So they stop talking. This is the reason. But the conflict has not been resolved. The problem remains. That's when you know that your marriage is dealing with unresolved conflict. You have unresolved conflict pattern. Hear me. You have unresolved conflict pattern in your marriage. Everybody is buying the Zip Republic. So now, what does that mean to you? Does it mean zip your mouth? Does it mean zip your trousers? Does it mean what? What does that mean to you? Point number 3. Every new argument opens up or opens old file. Every new argument opens old files. A marriage where there is unresolved conflict pattern, every new argument will open old files. So if in your marriage, you always refer to the past, you are always arguing and repeating the past, it is because the pattern called emotional or conflict, emotional unresolved, or conflict, unresolved conflict is there. Whichever one you call it, it is conflict unresolved or unresolved conflict pattern is present in your marriage, because every new argument opens up a fire. You started discussing something, and that happened yesterday, and suddenly you are arguing about something from 2024, something from 2019, something from 2020 COVID era. Something that happened just yesterday. Yesterday, you are discussing it, but you are now all of a sudden arguing about the 5 years ago. That's why you hear in such argument, you hear you always do this. You have always done it. You have always done it. Remember when we met 2005? That first you did it. You remember I told you we had a big fight over that one. No, it wasn't me. No, it was you. Then we'll argue over that. Okay, let me remind you another one. Let me remind you another one, since you think it's a lie. What about the one that happened 2005? 2005? Where? You see, argument is going on. Where? 2005? 2005. You forgot it. No, there was nothing like that. Okay, let me remind you. And then they will narrate the whole thing. And by this time is going on. They have not actually addressed the issue that just happened. They have moved, shifted. Then you hear them say, okay, what about the one that happened 2004? No. Before 2004, you remember the one that happened? December 2004. And then you just keep going. You remember when your mother came? Your mother came to visit us. 2021. You did the same thing. You remember I reminded you. You did the same thing. Okay. And then, what about what happened when we celebrated our anniversary? Immediately, about two months or 3 months when your mother left. You remember you did the same thing. You argue and argue. The argument just keeps going on. Why? That's to tell you. You see, the fact that you can refer to them, it shows that they were not resolved. The pain is still there. It got triggered. So one disagreement has opened the entire historical archive. That's the word. It has opened the entire historical archive of the marriage. I am so grateful to God that this thing I'm describing is something that through emotional maturity and the wisdom of God, I have never experienced in my marriage. To come and be talking about things and I'll now be pointing to dates. Remember what you did last time. Remember this historical archive. Unresolved conflict works dangerously. It destroys homes. It destroys marriages. It destroys peace. It causes a lot of bad things in the relationship. Because you see, emotionally, those experiences were never properly resolved. Emotionally. But you said we talked about it now. My parents came and their parents came. We sat down and we talked about it. Yes, you talked about it. But emotionally, the wound was not healed. Emotionally, you did not understand the impact of your action, the damage that was done. So it was not repaired emotionally. It was not resolved emotionally. Even though you are telling them, why are you bringing up the past? No matter what you say, as long as you are accusing them, it is not about why are you bringing up the past. Sometimes bringing up the past unnecessarily can absolutely damage the communication. It does. But sometimes the past keep returning by itself because the past never received resolution. So instead of thinking and accusing them of bringing up what has happened in the past, you want to ask the question, was it actually resolved? For the past to be brought into the present as a way of validating the fact that they are pained, they don't like what you're doing in an argument form, it shows that that past is unresolved conflict. Period. And until you understand that, you will keep repeating unnecessary arguments until you resolve it. Because the past was not properly acknowledged. You thought you did. Okay, imagine a couple says, but I remember when I cheated. He says, I cheated when we just in our first year of marriage. But I apologized. And I told her that it will never happen again. And we talked about it. I even deleted the number of the woman. I did everything. I stopped. I changed my phone. I did everything. I did that. And she says she forgive me. How come? Every little thing I do, she's always talking about it. She just I don't know what to do. I have told her I'm not doing anything. I've told you will complain and you'll be tired. I'm telling you. What that simply means is that you thought your intention was enough to resolve the matter by letting your partner know why you did what you did. You thought that would solve the problem because they actually asked you, why did you do it? That was not the question they wanted you to answer, but they asked it anyway. But that was not the answer they're looking for. So when you said, I did it because you were not available, or I did it because I was just drunk, or I did it because I just felt like, whatever your reasons are, that's not the problem. It will not solve the problem. You think by being honest, that will not resolve it. No, your honesty will not resolve it. Do you know what resolve it? Your understanding of the damage, your understanding and acknowledgement and understanding of the damage, emotional damage of your behavior. That's what will begin to kickstart healing. And many people never do this. They think that by saying I am sorry, they have resolved it. No. You must acknowledge. You must acknowledge and understand, empathize with the hurt that you have created. The reason why you did is not what they need. What they need is to understand the pain that you have created, and you feel remorse about it. And that is what will lead to a genuine repentance, a genuine change, a genuine apology that will actually be forgiven. That one. If all you say to them is just forget it, move on. I said I'm sorry now. I said I'm sorry, just move on. Have I not apologized? Have I not apologized? Can't we just move on? Can't we just forget about it? Nope. They may say they forgive you, but the pain will always make them to remember. The pain remembers. The pain remembers. As long as the pain remains not healed, it remembers. They may even be putting it before you and say, you did it, but I forgive you. But I can't just help myself. I can't help myself. That's why I'm still trying to heal. They are not healing because you have not acknowledged the damage. So there's no meaningful repair. No trust. Trust was not restored. You get it? Probably behavior have not completely changed. So the mind opens. The mind keeps the fire open. Your mind will still keep the fire open. And this is especially important when there has been betrayal, humiliation, repeated broken promises, financial secrecy, emotional abandonment. This kind of understanding is very important. Very important. That's why every new argument keep opening up the old files. Every new argument keep opening up the old files. Instead of saying, I already apologized, can't we just move on? No. That doesn't automatically repair emotional damage. No, it doesn't. See, an apology can begin the repair. It will not complete the repair. An apology can begin the repair, but rebuilding trust usually requires consistency. Rebuilding trust usually requires consistency, because sometimes the wounded spouse is not asking, did you apologize? No. What they are asking is, can I trust that this will not happen again? Can I trust? That word trust is huge. Can I trust you that this will not happen again? That's what they are really asking. And if you cannot give them that answer by consistent change, by consistent, behavior, I'm sorry, they will not trust you. And because they don't trust you, they will detach. They will detach. The fourth sign that your marriage is experiencing unresolved conflict pattern, is that you are no longer fighting about the problem. You are fighting about each other. In your marriage, every time there is an argument, it is no longer what causes the argument. It is now about each other. You have gravitated into attacking and fighting each other. You insult yourselves, you insult your father, your mother, you go beyond your father and your mother, you start insulting their great father, great grandmother. You start threatening each other. You see, this is no longer it has gravitated. You see, it's just getting worse and worse. Become worse and worse and worse. It's not right, because unresolved conflict keep piling up. This is where it becomes very destructive. Unresolved conflict. This is where it becomes very destructive, extremely destructive in marriages. You no longer fight about what the problem is. You are not fighting about each other. At first, I don't like what you did. Eventually, I don't like who you are. Initially, I don't like what you are doing to me. Then the next thing, it gradually moved to, what kind of a person are you? Why are you wicked? Why are you heartless? Why are you this? So it is now, I don't like who you are. It is no longer, I don't like what you did to me. It means your marriage has moved to a very destructive state as a result of unresolved conflict. This is not destructive. It has moved from the problem to the individual. You are now attacking each other. Did you see the difference? From, I don't like what you did to me. Initially, now it is about, I don't know who you are anymore. I don't know what kind of a person you are. I don't like who you are. What kind of person I dislike. It is not them. Did you notice the difference? That's why you hear some people attack their partner. You are selfish. You are greedy. You see, that's about them. It's no longer the problem. It is now the person that they are fighting. They are no longer talking about what led to the argument. It is now the person. You are useless. You are foolish. You are this. You are selfish. You are greedy. It becomes a fight of pointing each other. Instead of addressing the behavior, you begin to attack your individual identity. Let me tell you something. Once conflict, unresolved accumulated conflict, once it moves from behavior to character, guess what comes in? Contempt, massive resentment, contempt can begin entering the marriage or relationship. Contempt. Because now you are no longer solving a problem together. You are not solving a problem. You are trying to prove that the other person is the problem. So it is not a problem. It is now the problem. And who? The person is the problem. Not a thing, not the issue. It is now the person. That's what creates courtroom in marriage. I said that's what creates a courtroom in marriage. You know what I mean by courtroom? Arguing and defending. This one is arguing, this one is attacking, they're defending each other. They just keep going. It doesn't stop. Two of them are lawyers defending and accusing themselves. And who is the judge? Their children. Their children are watching like this. Mommy, daddy? They want the, you see. Or in some cases, one become the persecutor. The other one become the defense lawyer. So evidence is presented. Old case reopened. The witnesses are mentally summoned. Witnesses, they are mentally summoned. So everybody wants to prove. You see, I told you that you are the problem. That's it. This is the dangerous part of unresolved conflict. It has gradually matured. It moved away from this is the problem we are facing to you are the problem that we have. How many of you today, you are listening to me? Maybe you or your partner or someone you know, you hear them telling them that you are my problem. You are the problem in this marriage. I don't have any problem. You are the problem. Exactly. Any statement of such coming from a marriage or relationship is a sign that unresolved conflict pattern has become mature. It has gravitated from what the problem is to who the problem is. It is no longer a matter of what. It is now a matter of who. Where you leave the problem itself and start making each other the problem. Marriage cannot remain emotionally healthy when both people are fighting to win the case instead of understanding the problem behind the relationship, or understanding the relationship itself. But all you are fighting for is to win, is to prove that you were right, is to prove to the other person that they are the problem. That's all you do. You have become a destructive weapon to relationships. And this is an emotionally intelligent way to look at it. That's why I'm doing this live stream, to help you see things the way they are. to help you see things the way they are. Now, this one is even worse. Now, it can gravitate to a higher level if you leave your marriage, if you begin to take conflict as something that doesn't need to be resolved. It will grow into where apologies become meaningless. Have you heard them? They'll say, sorry. What is sorry? Forget it. How long have you been saying sorry? Are you not tired? Are you not tired of saying I'm sorry, I'm sorry? Apology has no meaning anymore. Because sorry, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Saying that without understanding eventually become noise. Apology without understanding become noises. It becomes a sound, a noise. You don't want that. And people see it as noise. You are just talking, no effect. Because you don't change. There is no understanding. All you say is sorry, sorry, sorry. There's a section on I watch on Contryway, this guy Contryway, this comedian Contryway podcast that I watch. You know, there's this guy that always he has this baby mama. All right, he always have a way of, you know, saying I'm sorry to his fiancée based on what the baby mama is doing. The baby mama thinks that she owns and runs the show. And this guy doesn't seem to understand that his reactions and responses is not making any changes. But he keep telling the fiancé, I'm sorry, I'm going to make a change. He's not doing anything. And there are multiple errors that have been allowed to penetrate into their relationship based on the behavior and the pattern of the baby mama. I'm just saying that for a reason, because a lot of people don't understand that their sorry can become noise. Your sorry can become noise. Why? Because it's a sorry without understanding. If everybody repeatedly apologizes for the same behavior, or let me say, if somebody, not everybody, if somebody or anyone, maybe your partner, repeatedly apologize for the same behavior, but never examine why the behavior keep happening, the injury, the spouse that is injured may eventually stop believing the apology. Because genuine repair require more than just words. It requires you to recognize what is going on. You need recognition. You need responsibility. You need empathy. You need correction. You need consistency. So imagine someone repeatedly dismissing your feelings. You explain what hurts you to them. They apologize. Then 3 weeks later, it happens again. You explain again. They apologize. Then 2 months later, the same thing happen again. Eventually, it's not about, oh, did they say sorry? No. You now start asking, why does everything, or why does this guy take everything, or this lady take everything as though it's a joke? Nothing is changing. Why is it not changing? Can't you just change? Why is nothing changing? Because it keeps repeating itself. So sorry becomes useless. Sorry becomes a noise. That's when you know unresolved conflict have destroyed trust. Trust has been destroyed because sorry becomes a noise. When sorry becomes useless, meaningless. That means the unresolved conflict has destroyed trust in that relationship. It's gone. Because trust is not only about infidelity. Trust is not only about infidelity. Trust is also the fact that you say, I can trust you with my emotions. If I can't, then there's a problem. So, can you say yes to that? Can I trust you with my emotions? Can I trust you with my feelings? Can I trust your words? Can I depend on your words? Can I trust that when we identify a problem, you will participate in changing it? Can I trust that vulnerability will not later be used against me? Can I trust that? You can remain faithful sexually and still create emotional instability if your spouse repeatedly experience you as unpredictable, dismissive, and or unavailable. Let me rephrase that statement again. I want you to get it. Let me say it again. I said you can remain sexually faithful. You can be faithful, not cheating, but you can still create emotional instability in your relationship if your spouse repeatedly your your behavior, your life experience you as unpredictable. If you are unpredictable to your spouse, that's the word. If you are dismissive to them, if you are unavailable emotionally, even when you are sexually faithful, you will still create emotional instability. I don't know if you got what I just said. So trust is not only about infidelity. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can break your partner's trust if you are unpredictable, emotionally unpredictable. You can break your partner's trust over you if you are dismissive, if you are emotionally unavailable. You can break your partner's trust. So it's not only on sexual commitment or loyalty. I know you might feel uncomfortable with what I just said, but it's the truth. You see, marriage requires more than physical presence. Marriage requires emotional responsibility. It requires emotional responsibility. Write that down. Some of you, that's what is missing in your marriage. Emotional responsibility. It's completely absent. Emotional responsibility. I told you of a program I was watching. The guy was teaching. He had about 1.2 million followers. 1.2 million followers. So I used to follow him too. I keep using him now because of what I learned. The guy was teaching one day, just come up with a program, a title. If you're a man, you must become unpredictable. That was the title. You must become unpredictable to a woman. And then in this course of discussion, he began to dive into marriage and husband and wives because he's also married. He's a married person. He was teaching men to become unpredictable. Unpredictable. I thought, what is he saying? Can he stop? Can he just stop it? You know, some people teach from pain. That's the problem. They teach from pain. They are not healed. Whatever caused them pain, they think they have to share. They will come and share what causes them pain. Some people, like, they can teach when their partner offend them, then the next day they will come on social media and be sharing. They will be teaching from that pain. That will generate a topic. Oh, dear Lord. Instead of them to share from wisdom, they are sharing from emotions, unregulated emotions. How can you be teaching men to be unpredictable? It's unhealthy to teach that. If your wife cannot predict you, you break her trust for you. If your husband cannot predict you, you break his trust for you. Period. Period. Come on now, if you disagree with me, tell me. Let me see who disagrees. What does unpredictability mean? It means that you are not stable. It is a pure definition of instability. So what does instability mean to marriage? Unhealthy. You will have unhealthy experiences. It will not sustain the marriage. It will destroy it. You will damage people. And hear me, and this is the highest level. I think maybe I should not call it the highest, but this one is very common. Okay, this one is very common. Remember, each time there is unresolved conflict, it grows. It leads to more problem, more problem. Now, this one is when you start keeping scores. You are keeping score. That means you are keeping record of wrongs. You have a record. It's a sign of unresolved conflict. You see, I call this one relational bookkeeping. It's called relational bookkeeping. You're keeping score. If you are like that, it is because you have been damaged by unresolved conflict pattern. Unresolved conflict pattern. Some people have a journal of 10 years old, 15 years old. In that marriage, everything is documented. Every problem, they go and jot it down and hide. Every issue. So they go back to it in their ninth hour. They are reading it. They are reliving the problem, reliving the conflict, reliving the pain. I did this for my partner, but he never did anything back to repay or anything to me. I did this on my partner never did. It's just documented. I always do this for you, but you don't do anything for me back. When your family needed my help, I was there. Every time you do this thing, I always forgive you. I always forgive you. I have sacrificed my career for you. Hi. Do you know what it is? To put that in front of your partner on their face and tell them that I sacrificed my life for you. I made you who you are. If it wasn't because of me, you would not be where you are. So respect me. So give me my honor. And they will not tell you, but I didn't ask you to do that. You didn't ask me to do it. You see, you are calling me a fool, bah? So you see, oh, Then you start insulting them. You will use all the curses in the world. You put it on them. And you will threaten them and make them that they will destroy. God help mercy. You know what is leading to that? Unresolved conflict. It has gravitated into a more dangerous level. High level of destructiveness. I supported you when nobody else did. When everybody neglected you and left you, I was there. I'm the one that stood beside you all the time. Is it how you pay me back? Is it how you reward me? So everything becomes evidence. Why? Because resentment has entered the marriage. Oh, resentment often grows where someone believes that they have repeatedly absorbed emotional costs without adequate acknowledgement, without adequate repair or reciprocity. That's it. And one resentment grows. Once you allow resentment to grow, the generosity that is in that relationship will decline, will disappear. You start using it against each other. Some of you you tell them, well, everything I did for you, I want it back. You must pay me back what I did to you. You start listening. I gave you this, I gave you that. I bought that for you, I bought that for you. I bought this for you, I bought this for you. I gave you this, I gave you that. I gave you this, I bought you this. I bought you that. You are keeping scores. And now, because they are not playing your game, or they are not going in they don't go in the direction that you expect them to go, you want everything back. And then you will do it with such a pain inside you, resentment. These are supposed to be an act of generosity. You did it out of love. Your love was active, and then it responded through generosity. Now you say, I don't longer love him anymore. I don't love her anymore. I want everything back. No. It's because resentment has entered your relationship. Resentment has matured. You have allowed it to grow. And that's why generosity disappears. Now you stop giving freely. It had to be by reward. You give to get something back. Say, if you want this, you must do this. And you begin to calculate. So why should I do that for you now? Why do you think I should give you the money? Why do you think I should do it? Why should you think I should support you? This is your partner. I mean, this is your partner. So you are not calculating. Why do you think I should do it? Me? Why? Why me? You mean I should do it for you? Why? What have you done? What have you done for me? Can you tell me what you have done for me? Have you not seen couples talking like this? You just like, what? What have you done for me? What have you done for me? That's how marriage gradually moves from partnership to transaction. Have you heard about transactional marriage? I talk about it here in my book, The Marriage Systems. I mentioned about it here in this book, Marriage Systems, transactional marriage. That is how marriage becomes transactional. It moves from partnership to transactional. It's about what you do for me, I do for you. Have you heard that song that time? Or those slogan? You say, you do for me, I do for you. You rub my back, I rub your back. You know, very, very funny thing. But we laughed over it. We sang it, not knowing that we were converting our relationship to transactional relationship. And yet you love each other. And that is very frightening. A lot of people don't understand it. Love and resentment can exist in the same marriage. If you don't know now, it's a mystery. So how can you love somebody and still resent them? Yes, it exists. In my line of work, I have seen that love and resentment can exist in the same marriage. You can love somebody and still be deeply wounded by them. You can want the marriage. You want the marriage, and you still feel emotionally exhausted inside it, but you are not living. You want the marriage, but you are emotionally exhausted inside it. So there will be constant argument in the marriage, but nobody's living. Constant fight in the marriage, but nobody's living. Why? There is love. Love is there, but there is a sentiment inside it too. The relationship has turned you into something else. And that is what you are struggling. Even though you remained married to the same person. What you need is emotional diagnosis. That's what you need. And lastly, you are becoming emotionally detached. You become emotionally detached. When you allow unresolved conflict to stay in your relationship for too long, you become emotionally detached. And this is the stage people often miss. Because at first you complain, then you argue, then you cry, and then you beg. You beg to be understood. And then something changes a little bit. And then you stop. And your spouse is thinking, finally, things are getting better. Things are getting better. But sometimes they are not getting better. They're not getting better. Sometimes you are emotionally living. You stop checking where they are. You stop asking questions. You stop explaining yourself. You stop expecting affection. You stop initiating difficult conversation. Now you start planning and imagining your future without them. Now you do things on your own. You are not acting like strangers because you have stopped emotionally invested. You are detached. You are detached. You are no longer concerned whatever happened to your partner. Emotionally, you are no longer concerned how they feel. You have detached. As a result of unresolved conflict pattern. That's where you hear them say, do whatever you want. Couples are talking to each other. They say, do whatever you want to do, do. I don't care. I can do anything. You can do it. Do whatever you want. What do you mean do? It's up to you. That's your life. I thought we are married. I said that is your life. That's it. That's what leads to those kind of statements in marriage. What they are actually saying is that I don't have the emotional energy to fight for this anymore. I don't have the emotional energy anymore. That's what they are saying. And this is what affects intimacy. Physical intimacy will start changing. Unresolved conflict does not always stay in a conversation. Unresolved conflict does not end in a conversation. No, it enters the bedroom. It will come into your bedroom. Unresolved conflict have destroyed a lot of bedroom, a lot of couples' bedroom. That is where they start experiencing reduced affection, reduced sexual desire, reduced. Are you getting now? Everything is going. Avoidance of touching each other. They'll be avoiding to touch. There is no mechanical intimacy. I mean, there is mechanical intimacy now. Instead of emotional connection, it's all mechanical. They will now use the pillow to separate themselves from the bed. Why? It is first person that did it. The first person that did it is the one that is actually operating it. Why the other one is brushing their teeth in the bathroom to come to bed, or the other one is trying to use the toilet to come before, and then the first one that lying on the bed is the one that put the pillow. Most of the time, the second one that comes, the last one they'll put. So one person will always carry the pillow and put it at the middle, and then the other one faces the other corner. The other one faces the other corner. Gradually, the marriage becomes a sexless marriage. Gradually, nothing is done. No, it just grows. Left unresolved. There is still more unresolved problem growing. Unresolved conflict still damaging, and they can't see it. They just keep piling it up until marriage is now sexless. It is not about physical assault. Sometimes you think that your partner does not desire you anymore, or you think that your partner is no longer attractive to you anymore. Some people use the word "we have grown apart." We have grown apart. It's not about growing apart. Resentment has entered. Emotional resentment has entered the physical intimacy. That is the problem. It is not physical attraction that is the problem. It is not your partner is no longer attractive. That's not the problem. It is resentment, emotional resentment that has entered due to unresolved conflicts. Has entered intimacy. For many people, emotional safety affects their capacity for vulnerability. It becomes difficult to emotionally or physically open themselves to somebody you currently experience abuse, you experience resentment, you experience dismissal, you experience unsafe or emotional disconnection with. It is very difficult. It becomes very difficult to emotionally or physically open yourself to someone that had an argument with you yesterday and did not resolve it, that fought with you and they keep doing it. It is very difficult. How many of you understand what I'm talking about? So before immediately labeling your spouse as cold or difficult or uninterested, you want to ask yourself the question, what is really happening emotionally between us? Because sometimes the bedroom is reporting what the relationship has refused to discuss. And this is why the children must be protected. Unresolved conflict pattern can affect the children too. The children can feel it. Children do not need to hear every argument to know that something is wrong. I keep telling you that there is an energy that governs a family. There is an energy. They can notice emotional temperature. Emotional temperature. They can notice it. Children can notice emotional temperature. That's why a child is, let me use a single parent for instance. Let's say a single mother who has been going through emotional pain. She has not healed from the emotional damage from the relationships, but she's now alone with this child. By the time the child is sleeping or in the night, she just think that the child is sleeping. Yes, the child is sleeping. But by the time she begin to mourn and cry and weep over the pain and begin to murmur and complain through the phone, the child will get the signal and wake up. You may not be talking loud, no shouting, nothing. You're just softly breathing and crying. You wonder the child will come to the door and be knocking. Mommy, mommy. Because they notice emotional temperature. Every time you feel pain, you express that pain, or you try to incubate on your emotional injuries. As you incubate on it, as you are brooding on it, you are emitting energy. You are emitting energy. You are emitting energy. And the children can connect to that energy instantly. Emotional temperature. They notice. They notice when mom and dad barely speak. You may not, yeah, they notice it. They notice the sarcasm. They notice the tension. They notice separate rooms that you are doing. Daddy is in the mommy is in the floor. You know, that separate. They notice. They notice when affection disappears. You are in, there's a word I'm trying to get. You are unknowingly or unintentionally educating them. You are unintentionally transferring emotional pain and emotional trauma to them. You are transferring your pain to them unintentionally, but you are doing it because children can notice when one parent uses them to communicate with the other, when one parent uses them as their emotional dumping ground or as a weapon against the other. Children notice. For instance, very simple statement. Go and tell your father that dinner is ready. Tell your father that dinner is ready. He's just 10 meters away. He's not far away from you. You call him. Go and tell your dad. Go and tell your father that child you sent notice. They notice. They notice. Children can begin learning unhealthy relationship patterns from what they repeatedly observe, not what you repeatedly teach them. It's not what they are taught, it is what they are observing. They learn from observation. So unhealthy relationship practice that you are carrying out in your marriage, you are unintentionally educating your children to have the same. That is what we call generational transfer of unhealthy patterns. You are transferring your unhealthy pattern to them unknowingly. So you are training them to live and anticipate to live unhealthy relationships too. They are learning from you that love means silence. That's what they are learning. They are learning from you that marriage means resentment. They are learning from you. Children, your children are learning. They are learning from you that conflict means withdrawal. They are learning from you. They are learning from you that problems should be buried rather than resolved. They are learning from you. That is how you learned it. In most of the cases, that is how you learned it. Now you are transferring the same. They are learning from you that apologies does not require changing. It doesn't require any change. Just apologize and move on. Repeat it again. And this is why resolving conflict is not only about making you as an adult, making you comfortable. It's not about you. It's not all about you. You are also modeling. You are modeling what partnership looks like, what real relationship looks like, or what unhealthy relationship looks like to those watching you. And who are these people watching? Your children. Your children. Your child. And if this is happening to you, stop guessing. Some of you can't stop it on your own. Even when I'm talking it now, saying it now, there's no way you can. Tomorrow you will continue. As you leave this live stream, you will still continue. Why? Because you don't have the emotional capacity yet. You see, your emotional sequence is programmed to just give you what you're doing now. It's just programmed. It has been set in motion 15 years ago for you. For some of you, it has been set in motion for 30 years ago, 40 years ago. From childhood, it has been in motion. It just keeps giving you that. You don't know why you keep doing it. You don't know why you keep saying it. It just keeps happening. It is your emotional sequence. It has been programmed. So what you need to do is to deprogram that sequence and reprogram your emotions. And I call it emotional reset. It is work. And until you do that work, nothing change. You will end up transferring. Some of you now, the transfer is 60% complete. Some of you, the transfer is 80% complete. There are those who is 90% complete. Some of you, the transfer is 98% complete. And some is almost 100%, just 99 point something. Some. That's what is going on now. And you wonder why your child is doing the same thing to you. You wonder why they don't listen to you. You wonder why they don't listen to you. You wonder why they keep you they use silent treatment on you, their parents, you. No, don't wonder. It's called transfer complete. Transfer complete. Some of them are just waiting for them. They are just waiting to become 18 before they will show you what they have learned. They'll be able to speak up and stand for themselves and show you what they have learned. Transfer complete. Some of you need to heal for the sake of your children. Otherwise, you will end up transferring everything to them because they are your closest emotional dumping ground. They are your closest emotional garbage. I'm telling you, this is reality. It's like somebody just have a bean basket close to his bed. Every trash go in there. Emotionally speaking, this is happening to many people and their children. And they don't know. There was a time I was planning to hold a program for the single parent. And I call it the single parent emotional reset. This is exactly what I wanted to discuss in that program. So when I announced it, I noticed that some people want it for free. I said, okay, if you want me to do, I was planning to do 12 sections with the single parents, 12 sections for their emotional restoration and recovery. I think that's what I titled it, Emotional Recovery for Single Parents. I was really ready for them in that program, but many of them didn't want to register because they thought it was too expensive. I said, okay, leave it. Now, if you want me to speak to you about this one-on-one, then send me a message. Send me a message if I just discuss if what I just discussed is what you are experiencing, and I just address your situation. Then the first thing is, go to my TikTok inbox, send me a message that you would like to have a session, or use the link in my bio. Go to my website, use the link in my bio, go to my website, whichever one you want to do. My website is familyaspect.co.uk. If you live abroad, familyaspect.co.uk. But for those of you that live in Africa, go to familyaspectafrica.com. That's where you get to. So that's what you do to get this information. Get help. Don't wait. Get help. Get help. Don't wait. Visit the website on your screen. I'm talking about those watching me on TikTok. For those of you watching me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, visit familyaspect.co.uk. You will see it somewhere in the bio on my profile. You will see it there. You will see it there. Where is NOS? NOS 007. NOS 007, are you here? Are you still watching me? Okay. I'm asking on TikTok anyway. How many sessions get results? Is it how many sessions get results? You can start getting results from the first session, depending on your readiness. Your determination to break out is very important. Determination to free yourself. Imagine those years. I can imagine how my determination to break out from those patterns changed my life today. I really determined. I made up my mind. I said I wasn't going to end up like the way my parents did their marriage. I wasn't going to end up what I saw. I wasn't going to end up like that. And I said I wasn't going to treat my children the way I was treated. I made up my mind. I said I wasn't. But in saying it was not enough. I needed to put to work emotional intelligence. I needed to break that pattern. I needed to heal. I needed to carry out emotional resets. I went through emotional resets. And that took several years coming together. And I'm so grateful that my eldest son is going to 14. He's 13 years plus, going to 14. I can't even think about the fact that, I can't even imagine what I went through when I was 4, 5, 6, 7. What I went through as a child. I can still remember 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My God. It was getting worse and worse the more I grew up. It was getting worse the more I grew up. To the extent that neighbors, other people will be telling me, I think you should leave. Don't you leave? You're not safe here. You're not safe. They'll be telling me. I said, don't worry. God is in charge. While I was going through all of that, I knew I was going to. I'm good. You see, the way you see things matters. The way you see things matters. Of course, while boundaries are very important in life, especially those who don't understand boundaries, they will complain that boundaries are not supposed to be set to marriage. No, the most place that boundaries is important is in marriage. Marriage is so important. Boundary is so important in marriage than you think anywhere else. Very important. As an individual, you are married, you must have boundaries to protect your marriage. And you must have boundaries to protect your husband. You must have boundaries to protect yourself. You must have boundaries to protect your wife. You must have boundaries. That is non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable. So, Visit this website, send me a message. If you can book a session, then book a session directly. You'll be able to select the time on my website. Now you can actually have the calendar there, book a session directly from my website. You have the calendar, everything is set up for you. Or you can use the link in my bio to do so, whichever one you want to do, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. So yes, that's what you do. That's what you do. There are many issues that leads to unresolved conflict. The question is, why does it keep happening? Poor communication resolution. No, it's not communication resolution. It is poor conflict resolution. We should stop blaming it on communication. First, you have to learn how to resolve conflict. A lot of people don't know how to resolve conflict at all. So one of the things that you're going to learn, if this topic today speaks to you, let's say you have constantly having unresolved conflict pile up in your marriage and it's destroying your marriage. These are the things you're going to learn. I'm going to help you reset these things. You see, first of all, you will do diagnosis. We will now know what actually accrued to you, because you cannot just go randomly to start learning about these things. Some of you is not conflict resolution skill you need. Some of you is as a result of fear of being vulnerable. So we need to address that. Some of you is emotional immaturity, but you may never know until you are diagnosed. Some of you is defensiveness. Imagine now your problem is defensiveness and you are trying to read book on conflict resolution skills. You may not be able to solve your problem, because while you are reading the book, there is an argument and quarrel. You are defensive. The more you are defensive, the more quarrel it escalates. So you may not know that is a problem. Emotional avoidance, unrealistic expectation, unspoken resentment. Difficulty taking responsibility, poor boundaries, difference in communication style, old wounds being activated. It could be all of these things, any of these things. That's why a lot of people keep arguing. That's why they just keep having issues unresolved. It just repeats itself every now and then. So the truth is this: not every marriage problem is a communication problem. Not. So I keep hearing constantly, oh, we just need to communicate. It's just that we have communication problem. It's the problem. Not really. Not really. Not necessarily. Some people talk all day. Some couples, they communicate all day. They are just communicating badly. That's all. You can communicate disrespect. You can communicate contempt. You can communicate defensiveness. You can communicate manipulation. You can communicate blame. You can communicate beautifully while taking absolute no responsibility. You are not taking responsibility, but you are communicating. So the goal is not more communication. The goal is healthier communication combined with emotional maturity, accountability, and repair. This is what will solve the unresolved conflict issue. So, but you need to be diagnosed to understand this, how it fits into your marriage or relationships. Some of you now is affecting your relationships because you are extremely defensive, or you are not emotionally mature, or you are not accountable. You avoid conflict. That's why you have not been able to have a healthy, successful relationship so far. And that needs to be stopped. You need to break away from that. You may not know until you do the diagnosis, but the obvious result is no relationship is working. You are getting older and older. No relationship is working. No suitor has come for you. Everyone just come and leave. They take and leave. They come, they take and leave. They come, they take and leave. No one stays. When are you going to wake up? Is it when you are 60? Oh, some of you just say, well, I'm tired and I'm tired. I'm no longer interested. You see, you are tired without working. You have no work. You are tired. You say, boy, I've been trying. Doing what? Doing the wrong thing. You've been trying, complaining. That's all. So get it clear and understand why this happened. So you can have an amazing experience in building a happy family. See, this is called family aspect. We bring to you wisdom and guide that can help you. Wisdom. You see, we bring to you wisdom that can help you build a healthy family. It's by wisdom, a house, a family is built. By wisdom. And by understanding, it is established. That's what this program is about. This live stream. Wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. 3 things. You will not miss it. When it has to do with marriage, relationship, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Yes, I focus on an emotional intelligence and relationship stability. That's the anchor of my work. Emotional maturity. Okay, emotional intelligence, helping people to develop their emotions and recognize the power of their emotions towards their relationships, and then how to regulate that, and also helping them to stabilize their relationship and marriage. That comes with wisdom. It comes with understanding. It comes with knowledge. So any question? Any question? I have books. If you haven't read my books, I have a lot of books. You can visit my website. The first one is Marriage Systems. All of these books are downloadable on my website. You can get it on my website, download them. Marriage Systems. And also, if you want to get the hard copy, you will find it on Amazon, anywhere in the world, Amazon.com. Then the next book is Letting Go, Walking Away from Toxic Relationship. Letting Go, Walking Away from Toxic Relationship is a must read for those who want to understand the patterns of toxicity and how to avoid toxic relationships and know what to do. If you're already in one, you can walk away from it. Then we have another book, Embracing Equality in Marriage, Building a Togetherness That Lasts. This book is loaded, especially those who have the mind to work in partnership with their partner. You believe in partnership. That means working together with your partner to build a future. This book is for you. And I have another book called The Principle of Starting a Healthy Relationship. The Principle of Starting a Healthy Relationship. This is my latest book that was published this year. So you can get it, download the copy on my website. Again, on the screen, my website again is or you can say familyaspect.co.uk. So just go to familyaspect.co.uk. You'll be able to find these books there. Here's another book, How to Influence Your Husband to Success. I wrote this book many years ago. This book is close to about 10 years now that it's been written. Lovely book, loaded, and it helps the women to understand how to support or how to really be a helper, a helpmate to your husband. I call it How to Influence Your Husband to Success. Now, the bestseller of the year, this book, Emotional Intelligence for Everyday Relationship, is a must read for everybody. If you have a child that is from 14 years old, get this book for them. It's very important that they read this book. Emotional Intelligence for Everyday Relationship is a must read, a must have. So you can get this book on Amazon, delivered to you if you live in Europe, if you live in abroad. Get this book from her, take a screenshot, put the author's name, like you can see, Charles O. Brown is the author's name. You'll be able to find these books on Amazon for physical copies, for those of you that like to read on a book, physical back. But if you want to have it on your device now, If you want to have the book on your device, go to my website, visit familyaspect.co.uk and go to the resources area. You'll be able to see the books there. Everyone, you can get these books. It's available for your download right away and you start reading it. And also, if you already read this book, please leave us a review. Any question, please, sir, what for children? How can you stay but emotionally free from cheating? What do you mean? What for? With 4 children? Sorry. With 4 children, how can you stay? With 4 children, how can you stay but emotionally free? Can you speak to me? This is not what I can tell you in one statement, because there's a lot you have to do, especially with children. So please get in touch with me. All right. Um, what I mean, get in touch, send me a message or book a session. I would like to talk to you in private on this, because this is way beyond just one statement. There's a lot I need to know before I can give you an answer. I hope you understand. So what if you have tried everything, but the other partner does not want to change? That is not true. I refuse to agree that you have tried everything. Have you tried my thing? Do you know what I would tell you? Have you tried working with me? So have you heard from me? No. So you have not tried everything. What do you mean tried? Maybe you spoke to your pastor about it. Maybe you read 1 or 2 books. Maybe you only attended one counseling session with somebody or two, and you thought that what that is, you have done everything. No, not everything that you have done is already done. In other words, there is more to what you have done. There's more. All you have, all you know, is not all there is. There is more. So you can't just say, I've done everything. I know it's a language, but when you think about it, you have not actually done everything. So, and that's why. So the few things you have done may not have worked for you, because they're probably not the right thing to do. So you may be treating the wrong thing. You may be giving your attention to the symptoms instead of the problem. What if the other partner says he does not have time? Yes, there is a reason why they don't have time. But it could be a system of avoidance. Okay? It could be a system of avoidance, but there's more detail to that. But what I always tell people is, instead of wanting your partner to change along with you, or wanting your partner to change first, you become the change. You become the change that everyone wants to see. Because the principle is, if you will change, everyone else will change for you. If you will change, everyone else will change. That's the principle. So gradually, your change will begin to change everything around you, because you are no longer the same. And because you are no longer the same, things will no longer be revolving around you as the same, or as before. So it's like, this is where you are. Things are revolving around you before. This is how your life was. By the time you change, you notice a difference. You are not positioned in another place. So this thing will no longer revolve around you. Rather, it will look like you are now in another environment. So when you change, it's called paradigm shift. You need to experience that paradigm shift for yourself, and it will cause ripple effect. So stop forcing your partner to change before you or along with you. You begin the change, and it will cause a ripple effect. It's just a matter of time. Okay, please, may I know the rights boundaries of a woman in marriage? First of all, are you okay? Is that a lady talking? Is it finest Abayas? Are you a lady? I need to know. For me to answer your question first, I need to know because something I want to tell you. You need to answer. I'm waiting for your answer, your response. Okay. Do you know what boundary stand for? Do you know what boundary is? Boundary are things you decide to accept and the things you decide not to accept. Boundaries should be set around your emotional safety. It is what allows you to be safe. Things that you have put in place that allow you to be safe. These are boundaries. It is what procure your safety. So I will not accept this because it's not safe for me. I will only allow this because it's safe for me. That's boundary. I will not tolerate this because it's not safe for me. I will only tolerate this because it's safe for me. And if this thing I said I will not tolerate is repeated or is done to harm me, I will execute a consequence. There must be a consequence for someone trying to break and step over you based on your boundaries. If you don't have that in place, every human being has that. Every human being should. Not every human being has it. Every human being should have that. So when it comes to you as a, for instance, the lady, you ask it, what kind of boundaries should you have? Very simple. As a woman, if you are not married, but you said in marriage, okay, now you're married, in marriage, very simple. Silent treatment. Do you tolerate it or you don't tolerate it? There are people who tolerate silent treatment. They have lived with it for years. Their partner is a silent treatment punisher for years. And they have been in that marriage and relationship. They didn't go anywhere. That's tolerance. They have accommodated it. That means they have the capacity to accommodate and tolerate silent treatment. So they stay. So when the partner behave that way and keep the silent, they just know what to do. They know how to go around it and absorb it. Yet it's destroying them emotionally, but they also don't know where to go. They can't do anything about it because their emotions have been programmed to accommodate and tolerate silent treatment. So, what if you decide to wake up and say, you know what, enough is enough. I don't want silent treatment as a practice in my marriage anymore. It's destructive, it's emotionally unhealthy to me, and I'm going to put a consequence for it. So you discuss your boundaries first. Once you said that, ensure that there must be consequences. So that consequence means what you will revoke, what you will stay on. That's why you have to learn how to set boundaries. What I'm telling you now, you may not be able to put it to work until you have gone through my training, because I have a full training on boundaries. So you have to join the academy or you book a private session for that. The academy, again, use the link in my bio or visit my website to join our academy. You'll be able to join any of the website. You can join the academy. You will learn a lot of these things on how to set boundaries. And also why you have not been able to set boundaries. Do you know that there are many people are afraid of setting boundaries? When they set boundaries, they feel guilty of setting it. So they break it. They start pitying the person that they set the boundary for. Many women are like that. So you need to know some of the danger of not setting boundaries and some of the emotional guilt that comes with boundaries and why. So you need to get those training done. Okay? There's a lot to go through to that. Okay, silent treatment is what destroy my marriage. My wife gave me silent treatment for 2 years. Wow. Did you hear that? For 2 years. 2 long years. Wow. wife. Thank you. Amen. Thank you. All right. Any more questions? I'm done today. Let me see if I have them. Okay. Those of you watching me on Facebook and TikTok, thank you so much. I mean, on Instagram and YouTube, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this section. I will see you